When K.Luke releases a new batch, do you ever wonder, should I get that? Is it going to be worth the money? How much better could it be than the previous batch? Well, this is the video for you because I'm going to compare the K.Luke Barrel Strength Bourbon Batch 7 with the Batch 9 and the K.Luke Toasted Rye Batch 2 and Batch 3 to let you know two things. First, are they getting better? As the batch numbers go up, is the bourbon and the rye level going up as well? And the second is also, I'll let you know if they're worth the money, especially the new ones, the Toasted Rye Batch 3 and the Barrel Strength Bourbon Batch 9. All right, let's go. Welcome to WhizzMake. My name is David. K.Luke is one of the hottest whiskey brands out there, with many of their releases selling out very quickly, especially online. But now with 10 batches of their barrel strength bourbon, 3 batches of their toasted barrel strength rye, and another 3 batches of their toasted barrel strength bourbon, you kind of wonder, should I get the next batch? Are the batches getting better or worse as the new ones come out? Well, I'm here to answer that question. Well, real quickly, before we get into it, I'm going to tell you a cool story about why these two are smaller than these. A couple months ago, I did a review of this, the K.Luke Toasted Barrel Strength Rye Batch 2. And to be honest, I didn't give it a great review. I gave it a hold rating, which is try before you buy. I said, hey, if I tried this before I bought it, I wouldn't have bought it. It's just not my cup of tea. And the cool thing is, Jonathan Massano, the owner and founder of K.Luke, saw it and he contacted me. Now, when I saw the email, I thought maybe he would be bashing me, saying, hey, what's wrong with you? But it was actually the other way around. He's like, hey, cool, that's awesome review. Appreciate the honest feedback. He said it would be cool if you wanted to try the new batch 3 of the toasted barrel strength rye, and at the time, the newest barrel strength bourbon, batch 9. And I was like, that's pretty cool. After giving it a mediocre review, to reach out and say, that's awesome, great review, love it. Here, try some of the new stuff. That's mad respect. I mean, who does that? Most other companies or founders will be like, this guy, this little YouTuber, he knows nothing. But Jonathan reached out, and did this. So I'll be a fan of K.Luke for life. Now, will that affect my review for today? Of course not. I have a duty to you guys. That's my number one priority, is to give you honest feedback. Now, if you sent me 2 full bottles, no, just kidding. Of course not. No, I'm gonna give you guys an honest feedback of A, if these are getting better, and B, if these are even worth it. All right, first, let's review the Barrel Strength Bourbon Batch 7 versus Batch 9. And again, since I have 4 whiskeys to do, I'm gonna make these notes very quickly, the reviews very short, but at the end, I'm gonna let you know which one's better. And as always, too much talking, not enough drinking. Let's get it, opening ceremonies. Oh my God. All right, these have been sitting out here for a couple of minutes just to air them out, but let's get right to it. First, K.Luke Batch 7, the nose. Now, I reviewed this before, but man, it is a great nose. I get a lot of nice, thick chocolate ice cream. You get chocolate, you get the creaminess, a touch of like cinnamon French toast is what I call it, because I get the doughiness. And then that strawberry, oh, it just tops it off and balances it out. Great nose on the Batch 7. All right, nose on the Batch 9. Wow, very similar. I get that dark chocolate or chocolate ice cream. I still get the cinnamon. I get that, I guess you could say, a little bit of brown sugar or a little bit of doughy sweetness. Now, the difference is on the Batch 7, got that strawberry. Here, it's almost more like that peanut or that nuttiness I would get from bean. Yeah, so that's the slight difference. Now, I do get a slight orange citrus, but yeah, this has a little bit more nutty sweetness. Right. And my favorite part, the palate. Back to the Batch 7. Fire in the hole, guys. Oh, very sweet, very oily, very delicious. The keynotes here are, you get a burst of cinnamon spice right up front, but then as it goes to the mid palate, you get a lot of sweet fruit like peaches, plums. And the finish, Sweet, lingers, gives you a little bit of oak. The spice, actually, the funny thing is, like I said, it bursts in front, but then when it's come down, it's more of a tingling spice. It's almost ticklish. And then you get that vanilla chocolate right at the end. Batch 7, awesome. Now, can batch 9 match the batch 7 or even beat it? Let's find out. Find a hole number 2. Wow. This is a different experience. So with the batch 7, you get a burst of spice and you get sweetness all the way around. With this one, there is a cinnamon spice, but it's there from the front to the back to the finish, but it's more of like a medium, like a spice level, just boom, boom, boom. And that's nice. It's just a consistent spice feel. The sweetness is more honey, and then you get a little bit of that chocolate right at the end. Oh yeah, very different. Hey, if you're enjoying this content, please push that like button. Absolutely helps me out, and every time that like count goes up, makes me feel so great. And to my Patreon YouTube members, thank you so much. You keep this channel going, and you keep the whiskey flowing. Thank you. I love you. All right, let's now move on to the Toasted Rye series. So batch 2 versus batch 3. Opening ceremonies, number 2. Oh. All right, like with the bourbons, these have been here for a couple of minutes to open up. Let's get right to it. First, the Toasted Barrel Strength Rye, batch number 2, the nose. All right, so I get a burst of citrus, right? Orange, kiwi, little bit of grapes even. Just refreshing fruit. A touch of sweetness. It's like a candied sweetness. Very nice. And then on to the nose for batch 3. Wow. All right. They're very similar, but this is like a burst of spring. Just refreshing all day. It's like lemon, orange, lime, even a hint of mint. Wow. Very refreshing. Really opens up my nose. Wow. Nice. And again, my favorite, but the most important part, the palate. First, the batch 2. Fire in the hole, number 3. Wow. So as with rye, you'd expect that burst of rye spice, cinnamon spice right up front. But then the mid palate gives you like a sugar cookie kind of just sharp, nice sweetness. But in the back of the throat or even coming down, you get nice burnt or caramelized brown sugar sweetness. So you get 3 different types of sweetness right away. Cinnamon sweetness, cookie sweetness, and then the burnt brown sugar sweetness. Wow. All right, on to the batch 3 of the Toasted. Find a hole number 4. This is turning out to be a great day when you have 4 amazing pours. So this is interesting because it is a toasted barrel. So with this, you get that toasted, especially at the end with the dark sweetness. On this one, it's very herbal, like a herbal spice, like a tea spice right in the beginning. Then you get a little bit of peppery spice in the middle, and you get that cinnamon spice at the end. So it's almost just a really good aged rye whiskey, as in you get that spice front to back, but it's not overwhelming, but it's really pleasant. It's really just feels nice. And then the sweetness is more of a honey sweetness. Very, you know it's there. It is sweet, but it certainly doesn't overpower anything, doesn't like overmatch anything. Like the batch 2 is a punch of spice and then just gives you a little bit of sweetness all around. This one, it's like, here's a jab of spice, and then a little bit of uppercut of sweetness and an uppercut of sweetness. Wow, this is interesting. Wow. All right, so the final result, what you guys have been waiting for. The first question I'll answer is the K.Luke Toasted Rye batch number 3 and the Barrel Strength Bourbon batch number 9 worth the money? They're about $110 on Teal Box and probably about $100, $120 depending on where you find it in your state. Now, these are not available in California, so I have no idea how much they would be here. But again, let's just assume $110. As with any toasted products. I just haven't found one that's not Michter's toasted barrel strength rye that I would just spend any money on, let alone over $100. So for me, still gonna be try before you buy. Now, if you love toasted, and I know a lot of people who love toasted rye, toasted bourbons, and they tried this at my house, they absolutely love it. So if you like or love toasted bourbons and rye, and that's just your jam, then this gets upgraded to a buy. Because to me, I gave out this, I think this been tried out by 4 or 5 people who love toasted rye. And every single one of them said, Vaj, I'm gonna buy this. And I believe they either bought the batch 2 or they bought the batch 3. So there you go on that. Now on to the K.Luke Barrel Strength Bourbon Batch 9. You just spend $110 on that. It's a very rich, very creamy, very delicious bourbon. But $110 is a lot of money, obviously. Sometimes you have to pay shipping. But for me, it's a buy. Have one on your shelf. It's sweet, it has the oakiness, but it also has the spice and the dark chocolate sweetness to round everything out, along with a lot of good fruit. It's, these days, any decent or good bourbon is $80, $90, $100, $110. That's a whole different discussion that we should have. But this is a good one. It's one of the best blended or sourced bourbons that I have tried. And so, man, if you can get your hands on a batch 9, do it. And then the most important question, is the K.Luke batches getting better or worse as they keep coming out with more batches? Well, this might be a cop-out answer, but no, they're not getting better, but they're just getting different. It's actually a different experience, especially the bourbon. I mean, this one was spice, boom, and then sweet, boom, and then it was like spice, oak, and it was a very, like a punch experience of just Jubilee. And then this one, the batch 9, it's more of a rounded experience, right? You get the spice all the way through, you get the sweetness all the way through, but nothing was really outstanding, like nothing was really, how do you say it, nothing really stood out, and nothing really got overwhelmed or overshadowed at the end. So you get the full experience from front to finish. This one, you get the spice and it goes away. You get the sweetness, it goes away. Then you get the savoriness, it goes away. And so it's a very different experience. I don't want to say it gets better, it's just different. Same thing here. This one is more of a rye, it's more prototypical toasted. You get the dark sweetness at the end, but you get the spice in the beginning. This one, same thing. Maybe that's what Jonathan is going for, is more of the roundness or the consistent feel from front to back. Because this one is, again, consistently, you get that herbal spice from front to end. You get that honey sweetness from front to end. And it's a consistent feel from start to finish. So if you haven't tried K.Luke, try it. If you love toasted stuff, get the toasted rye, get the toasted bourbon. Fantastic. If you love bourbons, you like blended, especially if you like anything MGP, this is great. This is one of the better blended MGP blends. So absolutely love it. I am gonna give it the batch 10. Hopefully I can get free shipping somehow because I'm allergic to shipping fees. But other than that, I'm gonna get the batch 10. So, and I can't wait to do more reviews of K.Luke to see if they're getting better or worse. So I'll let you know if they're getting worse, because at that time, I will absolutely tell you and recommend not buying them. So let me know in the comments. Do you have multiple batches of K.Luke? Is it getting better or worse for you? If you don't, did this video help you? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.